Hello, and welcome to today's Saturday Double Tap. And our first contract today, Shirts and Shots China, set in Chongqing and supplied to us today by Nico in the Drip. So, on to our briefing, short and sweet, just a recreation for PS4 and 5 players. So moving on to our targets, and today we have 5 of them, along with a free map. And for today's first challenge, we'll be starting at the default location. We'll be bringing with us a proximity micro taser, a lethal syringe, and a silenced pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, we are going to head off to our right straight away, selecting our proximity taser along the way, and we're going to drop our taser in this big puddle right here and quickly move on. We're going to run straight past our first target there and trigger his conversation. We're going to head down the stairs and into the shortcut door, and in here we will encounter our next target, a patrolling guard. So when he turns around and wanders off, we are going to eliminate him with 2 lead slots in the back. We're going to leave him where he is and take his outfit. And at this point, our next target, who we've already passed, should be just heading along the walkway. There he is. So we're just going to follow him at a discreet distance, and he's going to now trigger the routine of our next target, who is the young lady down by the ICA entrance. She's currently trying to remember the code for the door, which is 0118. So once our target here gets to the bottom of these stairs, we are going to very quickly pounce on them, render them unconscious, and we are going to deposit them over the banister off to our right, or our left even, should I say, and they will fall rather ungracefully down into the depths of the city. So down you go, sir. Come on, get a move on. We don't have all day. Off you go. Thank you very much. So we're then going to hop over the balcony behind us, just as the young lady remembers the code and lets herself into the ICA area. At the same time, as you can see, our other target, who is currently walking around on the walkways, steps into our proximity taser and eliminates herself. We can then follow this young lady into the ICA entrance, put 2 lead slugs in her back, and then we can exit and up the drain pipe here and into the kitchen of the noodle bar, where our final target is located. Now this guy can be tricky, which is why I've selected the lethal syringe, because if we try and shoot him with 2 shots in the back, his colleague will hear. If we try and break his neck, his colleague will hear. If we throw something at him, his colleague will hear. So we're just going to let him lose interest. It is a little tight in this area. We can just about get in position and jab him in the back with our needle, and his colleague does not hear that. So with all of our targets now dealt with, all that's left for us to do is to make good our escape, and rather than go back out via the window, we're going to go out through the front door, get ourselves nice and soaking wet out in the rain, and head for the moped exit. So there we go, 1 contract down, and once we get safely out of Chongqing, we will get confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan. We had no objectives to worry about, and we get a silent assassin rating. So moving on, we will go to our next contract. And for our second contract today, we are off to New York for And I Get Close to You. And this one has been supplied to us today by Shaco1610. So with no briefing, we'll move straight on to our targets, and today we have 5 of them, along with a free map. And for our second challenge today, we'll be starting at the default location, and we'll be bringing with us a remote magnetic gas grenade in a briefcase, a lockpick, and a silenced pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, we're going to do a little bit of legwork first of all. So there is one of our targets, Officer Frank. We're going to lockpick our way into the double doors on our left here. We're going to take out the camera at the far end of the corridor, drop our briefcase, and we're going to then make our way around the teller hall to the far side, and we're going to head down into the vault area, and we're going to retrieve ourselves a propane cylinder. Now the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that we've literally just dropped our briefcase next to a propane cylinder, but we will be coming back for that one a little bit later on. We do require 2. So we're just going to hop over the banister along the ledge and then down into the vault area. We're going to bypass the security guard chatting up the cleaner, and then take out the surveillance camera outside of the IT department, lockpick our way into the storage room, grab the propane cylinder from within, and then make our way back up the stairs. And we're just going to wait for that camera over there to pan away before making our way past the guard here before he spots us. We're going to go back into the first corridor we went into, where our briefcase is currently waiting for us, and through and out the other side. So there is Officer Frank. Now he's about to have a conversation with the gentleman in the lost and found area, and then he's going to head over this way and up the stairs. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our propane cylinder around about there, and we're going to go into the corridor here, retrieve our briefcase, and select our silenced pistol. And we're going to wait over by the door for Officer Frank. I'm going to take the opportunity to also remove my gas grenade from the briefcase and return it to the briefcase, ready for later on. And when Officer Frank comes along and walks past this propane cylinder, we are going to detonate it, and we will get ourselves a nice 2-for-1 deal. So obviously this will cause a considerable amount of panic. So once we've detonated the propane cylinder, we are going to go and quickly hide ourselves in the closet halfway down the corridor here. And ideally we will have 2 to 4 guards on body cleanup and gun removal, and we can then make our way back out into the corridor here. As you can see, I have opted to come a little bit early. So we're going to collect up the key card that Officer Frank drops and the janitor's key that Officer Frank drops, and then make our way back into the corridor. Now unfortunately we have a broken NPC right here. So this guy isn't going to move until we vacate the area, and we can't vacate the area because there is also an enforcer just heading to the entrance where Officer Frank was blown up. So we're going to have to risk this. This broken NPC has almost completely ruined our run. Luckily enough, we were able to get past the other enforcer and go around to the far end of the corridor, at which point the broken NPC unbreaks themselves and moves away. So we're going to hide ourselves back in the closet now, as everything has gone completely to plan. We're going to wait for Officer Frank's body to be cleaned up and everybody to go back to their usual routines before we can now head down into the vault area again using the key card we've collected. And down here we are going to take care of the surveillance system and acquire ourselves a bodyguard's outfit. So we're going to make our way to the security office, turn off the ventilation system, which will get the attention of one of the bodyguards, Now unfortunately someone didn't bother moving the bodies away properly and we can't close the doors, so we're just going to have to wing it once again. But we managed to get away with it, and when the bodyguard comes to inspect the air conditioning unit, we can then render them unconscious, take their outfit and deposit them in the canvas crate, which deal with the surveillance system, and we can finally get back onto track. So we're now going to head back up to the teller hall floor, and our next target, who is located up here, I'm just going to grab one of these hand cannons as well, as that will come in handy later on. So we're going to select our igmatic gas grenade detonator, make our way into the central room here. Do be aware there is one enforcer in this room, and luckily enough they were just having their back to us as we entered, so we weren't spotted, but do be aware of them. We're going to trigger our gas grenade against the young lady sitting down at the desk, who is our target. She will get sick and she will make her way to the foyer bathroom area. We're going to get there nice and early ahead of her to avoid any enforcer entanglements, and when she finally joins us in the cubicle, we can close the door behind us and we can give her a nice refreshing cold drink of water. So that puts us at 3 targets down with 2 more to go, and our next target is a relatively easy one. We're just going to drop that briefcase, we don't need that anymore. We're going to take the hand cannon we've collected and we're going to drop it on the floor in front of our next target, who is currently on guard over by the vault stairs area. So we're just going to drop the gun about here, and for some reason the gun wouldn't drop, and where we have dropped it is not good enough. We are going to have to go back and do that again. So pick it back up, drop it in front of the guard, not once you've passed him. There we go. He will pick the gun up and he will move it away to the nearest weapons locker, which is the original corridor we first lockpicked our way into. So we're going to head back there now, selecting our silenced pistol, just making sure that the guard has collected up the gun and is heading this way. And when he finally joins us, he will move to put the gun in the weapon locker. We're just going to close the door behind him because we wasn't born in a barn. We're going to drop our target with a simple bullet to the head. We're then going to turn around and finally grab the propane cylinder from behind us off the shelf, and we're going to head now up to the back of the teller hall leading up to the upper levels of the bank. Now do be aware, Officer or Agent Perez, or whatever you want to call him, is in the area at this point, as you can see, and is an enforcer. So we're just going to let him go past, and then we're going to make our way up to the 2 guards here, one of which being our target. We're going to drop the propane cylinder on the floor behind him, make our way to the end of the corridor, and then detonate the propane cylinder, eliminating our final target, rendering his friend unconscious. And all that's left for us to do is to make good our escape, and as we have the janitor's key from Officer Frank, we can head out the janitor's exit, which is just around the corner. So there we go, 2 more trending contracts taken care of, and we have confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan. We had no objectives, and we get our 2nd silent assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.